Now that the foundation is done for our workshop, it's time to build the floor. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let's get started. To begin here, I've got two 2x6 10-foot long boards that will make up the length of the building. And I'm going to use this smaller block of wood to make sure these two pieces are fastened together. And I'm going to be using my impact driver here with some 2.5-inch screws. Get these started here. Okay. I'm going to just make sure these are lined up nicely and fit together. Each of these 10-foot boards has a 1/2 inch of extra on them, and so I'm going to come back here and cut that extra off with this circular saw. The building is going to be 14 foot wide, so I'm going to have two boards to span this two 7-foot gaps here. But because the side boards will be on the outside, I actually need to come in here and mark at 1.5 inches short of 7 foot. So whenever both boards come across here, it'll actually be 3 inches short of 14 foot to make up for that extra board on the side. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So basically I'm just going to come up here and cut at 1.5 inches short of 7 foot. I'm going to need 4 of these boards, so I'm going to get those cut real quick. Now with all 4 of the front and back boards cut, I'm going to turn the side up here, the 20-foot long one, and I'm going to be using this to screw in the front and back here. It started raining yesterday evening, so I worked without filming for a little while, but I'm back. So what I'm doing now is getting the joists installed. So I'll show you the cuts and what I'm doing for that. Because the building is 14 foot wide, I have to have a minimum of 7-foot boards in the middle, but in order to get them attached to each other, I am actually cutting these at 7.5 inches. Or 7.5 feet, sorry. Inches wouldn't go very far, would it? Which is 90 inches. And that way there can be some overlap to screw these together. Seems to be working quite well. My original plan was different, but my friend and subscriber Mike Collinson suggested this way because it gives that extra support when you lock the two pieces together. Let's cut these down. This side is getting a board every 16 inches on center. So I'm going to mark here at 48 inches for this one. And then I'm going to bring it over here and plop it into place. Okay. I'm putting 3 3-inch screws in each of these joists here. The other side here is getting a board every 17.5 inches. That way it's offset by one board and they can line up to be screwed together here. To put the two pieces together, I'm just going to use screws like everywhere else, and I'm making sure that I have pulled the two pieces together and measured to make sure that we still have 14 feet across, so that we're not getting out of square here, or out of rectangle. I like these hex screws. Much easier to work with. I guess they're called Torx, maybe. Now for the distance between here, I'm going to measure out. And let's see, 13 inches. Oops, took me a second, but I realized what I did wrong. This whole side is 16 inch on center. And this side, my initial came off at 17.5, but everything else after that should be at 16 on center from that first one. So let me come back and move the board we just did over so it's 16 on center, and that will fix the gap in here. Okay, that's better. So now from this to this, we have roughly 17.5 and 17.5. So we should be good to go in this middle section here. So I need to cut this one at 13 inch. Let's see what we get here. Inches. Pretty good fit right there. So what I'm doing now to get these attached is coming in a little bit from the side down here, and then I angle it back in. So coming maybe about an inch up, get started in there, and then I hopefully angle it like that, and I'm able to screw it in. It seems to lock it in there pretty good. Putting two on each side here. And there we go. That's how I'm getting these joists installed. Next, I'm going to be putting the flooring on top of here. But in the meantime, I've got quite a lot of joists to go. So I'll see you in a bit. It's taken me most of the day, but I have the basic part of the frame done here. Now it's time to move on to the flooring. Let's see, hard to see, but in this green tarp over here, I have some exterior plywood, and it was free. So I think it's somewhere around 3 foot by 9 foot, kind of an odd size, but it was free, so I'm going to be working with that. So let's break into that now and see what else we need to do to this floor to get it ready for that. It's a pretty heavy stack, so let me see if I can get this tarp off of here. Yeah. Bunch of stink bugs. Whole bunch of them. Alright, here we go. My dad helped me get this over here, so it's going to be a little difficult with one person. I have never seen so many stink bugs in one spot. There we go. When you're given a stack of 3 OSB like this, you might as well use it. So this is 3/4 inch exterior plywood, and it may be a little old looking, but I can easily paint it to make it look nice enough. So what I'm doing now is going to place this on top of where it's going to be and see what I need to add as far as supports, because this needs to have a board under every edge here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so definitely gonna have to have a board on the inside here and add another one out here for this edge. So let me get the chalk line and we'll add the boards we need to here. I set out 2 pieces of this OSB so that I could run this string between them here. I figured this would give a good straight line for the string to snap to. My friend and subscriber, Mike Collinson, was helping me with the terminology for this build, and these are actually called noggins. I had not heard that word before. So this next one needs to be 14 1/4. 14 1/4. For all the other cuts on this build, I've mostly been using that cordless saw, but there's so many of these, I think it'll save a lot of time here by bringing out the old chop saw. Now whenever you nail something the way I'm doing this here, it's called toe nailing. So I wonder if it's called toe screwing. I have no idea. But I guess for this video I'm just going to say I'm going to screw these in from the side. I also added this board here, which finishes out the size of the plywood here. And before I screw this down, I got some liquid nails heavy duty. It's going to be used to glue down this board and also hopefully prevent any bugs from being able to get up in through the floor. I'm going to just take a bead here. I have to bust that piece in the middle. Maybe not, let's see. Yep. That's maybe a screw will reach. Not that one. Where's my 3-inch box? Hold that thought. Let's try that again. Looks like one tube is going to pretty well cover everything there. Now, I'm going to flip this up and hopefully set it down in the place that it needs to be. Scooch this over just a hair. Alright. Now, definitely would help to have 2 people on a job like this. Oop. Whoops. All right. That's pretty close. May not be quite as well glued in as I was hoping. My dad's gonna help, I believe, on the next piece. Some glue is better than no glue. I don't know if there's a spacing requirement for screws, but I'm just gonna put a bunch of them in here. On the inside, I'm kind of putting them at an angle to get them into that middle board we just installed. It seems to be doing well. I've gotten to the point where I need to cut the last little strip to finish out this full side over here because I have the other 4 sheets already installed. So to get this piece, which I've measured 7 3/4 here and 7 1/2 down there, my frame was in just about a 1/2 inch or so in the middle. My measurements were off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is measure out 7 3/4 on this end, and then go to the other end and measure 7 1/2. And then I'm going to use a board with some clamps to make a guide for the saw, so I can rip down that line. So let's do these measurements real quick. So from this middle line here, here to here, got 7, actually it's not even 7 1/2, it's close. So we'll just cut this at 7 1/2 down here. And if I have to, I can trim off a little bit. Let's see, 7 1/2. Okay. I'm going to use this 2x6 as the guide between these 2 points that we just made. Oops. Board's not quite long enough, so we'll just make do with it, I suppose. Actually, we can't because the clamps won't fit around there. So I need something a little bit longer. This decking board should do the job. So I'm going to get this lined up so that the saw will cut down a straight line. Whoops. Have to put something back here to counterbalance this board. There's always something. We do get to use this 2x6 after all. That'll just keep this side weighted down a little better. Okay, so get this side lined up right about there. Use a clamp keep that in place. Then I'm going to come back down here and line up this side. Let's see what we get here. Something around right there. Okay, well that should do it. Just to make sure here, it's lined up pretty good. Yeah, I think we're ready. So let's rip down this board. I could have used a 3rd or 4th battery on this build, but I've only got 2. All right, let's see how well this board holds this for this rip cut here. Got off track a little bit twice, but that's pretty good, I believe. Let's set this down here and see how well we did. Okay, spot on down here. And just a little off down here, but not bad. Okay, yes, just a few little wavers in here, but not bad. I've been working on this part of the build for right at a week. And I'm kind of surprised just how quickly it goes by. I would say this part of the build is a lot more enjoyable than the concrete part. Block laying is not bad, but it's certainly not my favorite. I thought I had purchased enough of these tubes, but sadly I believe I'm going to be one or two short. I have to go to the store today and get some more. It actually goes by a lot faster than I would like it to. After these last end pieces go on, then I've got to move on to the strip that goes down the middle, which is a little bit tricky. I have just enough of this plywood to go on there. Using the same clamp and guide board method, I have cut the pieces for the middle here. And so far it's been going smoothly. If you were to buy all the lumber for this, you would have 4-foot by 8-foot sheets, and so it would be a little bit smoother of a build. But since these were like 3.5 by 9-foot sheets and free, I'm definitely happy to make adjustments with my build to suit the free materials. I've got one more tube of this adhesive left, so I'm just being cautious. I'm going to try and make it all last for the last couple of pieces. I'd rather not go to the store to buy one tube of adhesive, but I'm probably going to be going anyway to get some OSB for the trusses. So if I have to get some of that adhesive, it'll be all right. Hopefully this is a really good fit. Certainly is a tight fit. I promise it worked a couple of moments ago. There we go. Yeah, that's the kind of fit you want right there. Just barely makes it. Very nice. I just finished getting the last piece of plywood for the floor done. It was this 4-foot piece here. The rest of them were not quite that long in the middle, but it looks very nice in my opinion. It's definitely the first workshop that I've ever built, so might be a little biased, but I am quite impressed with the floor. It seems like it is quite a robust floor, up a little higher than I expected it would be, but it's all good. So let's take a look at other side here, and you can hear sounds pretty sturdy. So I do have roughly enough space back here that the wheelbarrow will fit through, but it's really close. Thank you for watching this video. It's nice to have this floor done. Next video I'm going to be making the trusses, because you make those on the floor before the walls go up. I'm Seth Johnson with Land a House. Remember to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind, share this video if you've enjoyed it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all those good places. I'll see you next time. Bye.